Hello and welcome to All About You with OMG and Friends, where we talk about the things that you think about. I am your host, OMG, along with my co-host,
Silky Smooth,
Daydream.
and we do have a studio guest joining us today.
My name is Jason Coleman. Hi, everybody.
We'd like to thank you for joining us today, and we ask that you please join in on the conversation, where your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions help drive the conversation. Today our topic is smart homes, a look into the future. Now, in the event you haven't noticed, the future is now, and it is the Jetsons. In case there is any doubt, we're living in the golden age of technology development. In the past decades, we have gone from relying on corded phones for the bulk of our communications to tiny computers in our pockets that are capable of dozens of simultaneous communications functions. If smartphones were one of the major tech developments of the 2000s, then the next big step that came in the 2010s was the development of smart homes. Smart home automation allows you to tap into a high-tech functionality and luxury that wasn't possible before. As technology development continues to expand, so are the possibilities for consumers' home automation to make life convenient, safer, and more enjoyable. We have in our studio joining us today Jason Coleman. He is the Regional Sales Manager for Claire Controls. Claire Controls is a provider of smart, secure, and simple home solutions. Jason has 20 years of experience in the audio-visual industry with focus on smart home automation and installation. Jason, welcome to the All About You show.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, so did you have any forewarning 20 years ago, or you just now kind of getting into the home thing, or is it just now coming into fruition?
No, really about 6-7 years ago, we really started to shift to smart home automation. And it really became, because exactly like what you said, is everybody's got a computer in their pocket.
Right.
And this has really changed our industry. And so we made that focus because we realized that the access to information is going to be a lot easier for everybody. So that's why I've gone that route.
Okay, well that makes sense. Okay, so tell us, Jason, what is a smart home?
So really a smart home is a combination of multiple smart devices that give you control and access to your home whether you're there or away. And that's gotten very popular over the last couple of years. I don't know if anybody here in the room has it or anybody listening, but I'm sure has some smart home technology.
Oh yeah, you can bet they got it, yeah.
And that also ties into apps. I'm sure if I looked at your guys' phones, which I won't, but if I did, you probably have pages and pages of different apps and things like that. So
right.
Smart home allows you to tie all that stuff together so you can control everything from your phone.
Okay, so now is there, as it stands right now, as my research showed that in the 2010s is when smart homes came out, came big for the most part. What was the first automation brought forth through this process? Was it cameras? Was it video? Was it audio? What is it? I mean, what was first?
Well, initially what really kind of started to drive this was security and surveillance. People wanted to have, they would have a secure home. They also wanted to be able to, see their home. And so initially, when you did surveillance, if you wanted to see anything, it's like those old 80s movies. You have to go to a tape recorder, pull the tape out, rewind it, see what's on it. With the internet and everything getting bigger, capability to actually stream that stuff. So now you don't need that. You don't have to have it, 8 VCRs recording. You can pull that stuff. So when that became available, people said, "Hey, this is really cool. What else can I remotely do? What else can I access out my home with this technology?"
So I don't have to keep all those 8 storage boxes of VHS tapes and for home security. Oh darn!
all labeled.
So there is a demand for it then. There is a demand?
Yeah,
a high demand for it?
Absolutely.
I would imagine so. People
it's about convenience.
Well, see, it's about convenience, but also to me, it's like voyeurism. People want to know what other people are doing, and so
to watch the babysitter.
Yeah, and even here, it's a good convenience to be able to go out of town and then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, did I let the garage door down? Did I, did I lock my door? So I think it serves a viable purpose. It's helpful, and it can relieve you of stress when you're gone away, and you can say, well, I've got my phone. Let me just make sure that I activate this from here.
Right.
But it's just a lot to be able to put out there for some monitoring company or person to have.
Sure.
Is that not too much?
Well, I'm sure you've all had the experience where you've left the house and you're thinking, okay, did I lock the front door?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
I close this? Did I do that? Did I arm the security
Did I
system?
turn the pot off?
Yeah. And, now, and I can actually show you, but now you have full access to that wherever you are. Whether you're laying in bed and you don't want to get out of bed and you want to lock your front door, or, you're taking off on a plane and you think, oh, did I arm my security system? You can do that remotely.
You can't turn your stove off, can you?
Yes, we could
Electric
set it up
stove.
so you could do that. Yes, where you could
Can
actually
you
shut it
really?
off. Yes.
An electric stove, not a gas, I bet.
Yeah. All we have to do is put in a little control module that it plugs into it. We could actually cut power to that device anywhere we are.
Nice.
Isn't that amazing? Somebody can burn your house down if they don't like you.
See, and that's my thing. Is the other thing about it. It's like, okay, well, it's convenient and it's great for me to be able to utilize it. Hey, let me check this, or let me check that, or this alarm went off. Let me see what's going on. Oh, it was nothing, or yeah, someone's at my window. But the same way that I'm able to monitor my own home, my thing is, okay, there's obviously somebody else on the other end of that. So how do I know they're not hacking into my system to peep?
Well, all those things are encrypted, so when they're set up.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have somebody on the phone on the
Oh,
line.
yeah.
I wasn't aware.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
calling.
Okay, please forgive me. Caller, you're on the air. I apologize.
Not a problem. I was just you provided my question. I was concerned about hackers, and so that was the route.
All right, thank you, caller. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from MI Homes.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you. See, you see, people, we're not the only ones.
Yeah. So,
Let's talk about the hacking.
So, like anything, we put as many steps as we can to make sure our systems are secure. Nothing is 100% secure, to be honest.
right.
Us as a company and our product have never been hacked. We use Amazon as our cloud-based storage for all those devices, and Amazon's one of the most secure companies out there. But a lot of those devices, like your cameras, like your security system, have multiple steps of encryption to make sure that someone can't just hack into the system, that it's not an easy step to do. So partnering with companies that are reputable, that make a good product, that have that infrastructure in place is important to that. So, the company that makes, our camera systems is one of the largest camera manufacturers in the world.
Oh,
And so
really?
partnering with companies like that makes sure we can try to eliminate that as much as possible. But, I always joke around, nothing's secure. I think, when they released the PlayStation, some 10-year-old kid hacked it within like 30 days of it being released.
Right.
That's what you have to worry about the kids. They're sharp
Right.
enough and they got time.
I have
Yeah.
a question on that. Can your house ever lock you out or lock you in?
No.
What about that?
No, you have total control.
I saw that in a movie.
So it's real.
The house
It happened in
turned
a
on
movie.
them.
The house Facebook is
Had
real.
horns in the tail and locked the people in and tried to kill them.
No, as far as everything, I've never seen it.
Never
That
heard
is
anything
never.
You sure, Jason?
I'm positive.
Okay.
And if it did, I wouldn't be able to talk about it.
Right.
For fear. Yeah. Have to have somebody meet them out in the parking lot.
Now, caller, we still have you on the line. Are you in the market for a security system?
Do you have one?
Yeah, or do you have one? Or
Well, I'm just about to get a re-service for a security system, and that's next week. And I like the smart homes, but I'm fearful of them. They seem to have be in too much control, plus the concern of hackers. But they seem to have a mind of its own. It's almost like a robot taking over the house.
Artificial intelligence.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
that.
So smart is too smart? Is there
Too
such
smart.
a thing as that?
On our side, there's no artificial intelligence built into our system.
Okay.
Everything that you do and everything you set up, and even what we call automation steps, are created by you. So if you want to have a specific chain of events to happen, like you can tell our system that when I get home and I unlock the front door, I want the next 3 things to happen. I want these lights to come on, I want the TV to turn on, and I want the Billy Joel radio station to fire up. You can build all that into our system.
Matter of fact, I wrote something this morning that says, picture this. You're awakened in the morning. Before you get out of bed, the light comes on to prevent stubbing your toe in the dark. The coffee starts to brew. Your drapery's open to show you the view of the day. Alexa gives you the weather, the news, and before you get your morning started. Alexa cues in your favorite music station to get ready for work. She makes a phone call for you. Your garage door opens and your car awaits you. Who will drive? You or the car? Decision. The ignition starts. You leave the house with lights dimming to turn off. You hit your smartphone and music goes off and your home secures itself. Cameras and alarm are armed and the door locks securely behind you. The thermostat is adjusted to accommodate your being gone all day and set to drop the temperature as the time for when you are to arrive back home. Boy, that's a smart move. I wrote that this morning because I think at some point our whole convenience and our whole lifestyle is going to go toward, it's the Jetsons,
Right.
you know?
see, and I think that's more of my thing. I still feel like it's a little too new. So I'm not, I'm still not too keen on it. I'm all about security cameras, night vision, being able to see all that. I'm totally all for it. But it just, I don't know, having everything under one. So I just open my phone and, here, I'm good. Everything's fine. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, how many times have I lost my phone? Okay, how many times have I tripped in, and been fearful about pictures or some other items that are in my phone, much less you have access to my entire house.
Sure. Like I said, our system does have multiple steps of encryption, and there actually is logins and pins required to get into the system. So, but if someone were to find your phone and just they had your login and could get into your phone,
right,
technically they could access the app and get into your system.
Without have your login, correct?
If they can log into your phone and open it up, then yeah, they could get into the app and see that. Yep, absolutely.
A disgruntled spouse or something.
Uh-oh.
But that is definitely a possibility.
Disgruntled spouse, yeah.
But there's a lot of safety things that it does have. Like one of our most popular products that we do is a video doorbell. Have you guys seen these?
Yeah, those are really actually really cool.
They're awesome.
How does that work?
So what it is it replaces your existing doorbell. It's a small little camera. And when someone comes up to the front door and rings it, it rings your doorbell, but it also rings your phone. And no matter where you are in the world, you can then answer that. You can see the person who's at the door, you can hear them, and they can hear you. And so you can, if it's a kids, they forgot their keys, and you can literally remotely, right now from here, I could unlock my front door and arm the security system if I want.
I mean, it has awesome attributes. I mean, what's not to like?
I'm sorry, caller, did you have another question for us?
Hello? I think he may be gone. Well, thank you for the call. I think we may have something. But speaking of the doorbell cameras, I think we plan on giving 2 of those away at some point.
Yep.
But
Yes, absolutely. Oh, real quick, so I'm sorry, I
go ahead.
got distracted with something, but when you were talking about the door cameras, so the doorbell cameras, so that was actually really cool. So a friend of mine, they recently bought a home, and they had just installed, they have a smart home, so they installed, they have the fancy Samsung fridge, so they can actually see the monitor, the doorbell monitor on their fridge, if they're in the kitchen.
Wow.
Yeah, so they can just look, when they hear it, okay, well, let's access the monitor, and it'll throw up on their fridge or, on the TV, wherever they're at. But the cool thing about it, and I actually got to see it, was they were in between moving. So, in and out, movers, this, that, and whatever. And at one point, they were out still trying to pack up some things. And of course, someone's at their door. Well, it had already notified them that someone was within a certain radius. So the camera automatically came on before they even made it all the way to the door.
Yep.
So you can see the person walking up, and it was this lady who was like ringing the doorbell, but really looking to see what all was inside.
Wow.
Right.
Really?
So outside, there's no vehicles
being seen.
Right. There's no vehicles in the driveway. You see where she kind of drives by, stops, and then gets out and comes up the driveway to knock on the door, ring the doorbell. And so they don't have any curtains or anything up yet. So the glass door, you can obviously see people are just moving in, but nobody's home.
Nobody's there yet.
And it was hilarious when he actually spoke to her, because nobody's there. It sure did. And to see her jump as far as she jumped, so that was awesome. So that's why I was like, okay, I get it. Like I see the appeal to it.
Absolutely.
And have totally experienced it. But it's just and then we've also seen on Facebook a lot of viral videos where there was security cam inside, and the person was in the shower, but somebody thought nobody was home, and you're seeing everything just play out.
See, that's kind of scary.
On the
we have
cameras
another
and stuff.
caller. You're on the air.
It's just me back.
Okay, did you have another question for us?
Well, I'm just concerned, being a Bible student, that a lot of this seems to be playing into the end times where, you think you have privacy and there's really no such thing. It's all, you'd be alarmed if you were to know how much privacy you don't have with the federal government eavesdropping. And I say that from a Secret Service experience I've had, but isn't that some concern? And is there anything to help us to be, secure with, being really secure, having privacy with all this?
Well, on the privacy side, as far as Claire goes, the manufacturer, we don't collect any of that information on that. We don't have any use. We don't sell any of that stuff off. There's no value of that to us. Beyond that, with Amazon Alexa and Google Home and a lot of these products that they talk about that are listening and all that. And I don't know if I really have much of an opinion on that, but I can tell you on our side, we don't collect any of that data. But like anything, there's trade-offs. So, with the addition of this stuff, is you have a much more secure and safe home. It's something that when you are away, like I travel quite a bit, and my wife, when I'm gone, she won't answer the front door, but she will answer the video doorbell. Someone's at the door, she'll look at it, she'll see who it is.
And chooses whether to answer it or not.
Exactly. So she's not walking up to
It's
a
kind
door.
of like the phone. You have options. You don't have to answer the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and see, and I'm one of those people where y'all know how I am. I have a fence around my property, so I don't even want you near the driveway. Much less near the door. So that works out great. Because I can just look. Okay, do I want to look through the blinds to see who's, who the dogs are barking at, or can I just, right there on my phone, my TV, whatever? Okay, yeah, no, I'm just not going to.
That's going to create a situation of delete and dismiss. You don't even want to deal with it, especially if you see somebody there that you don't really want to deal with, and it creates a situation there.
So yay.
But it's also nice when you're away.
It is.
It appears that you're at home. So even
Right.
though there's no one at the house, you're still answering the door.
That's funny. Your lights will come on and all this.
That's actually one of the first things a good friend of mine did. They're a flight attendant, and so their schedule's all over the place. But they received Alexa as a gift, and the first thing they did was like, "Ooh, I need to set my lights."
Yeah.
Because security, you never know.
I have an Alexa, and she talks out of nowhere. I'm not even talking to her.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she'll say, "I didn't understand you," and I was like, "I didn't say
I didn't
anything."
say
anything.
I'm like,
That's creepy.
I'm not even talking. If you gotta, that's kind of scary. And I don't watch
Creeps
scary
me
movies,
out a
but that
little
would kind of
bit.
trip me out. But Jason, what smart home
caller?
products have been the most popular?
Yes.
Caller, I just want to say thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for
your
listening,
yeah,
and
and
thank
your
you for
comments.
your comments. You gave us some food for thought.
Well, thank you. I'm still at work. I'm going to have to bow. I appreciate the information I received, and thanks for the invitation.
Absolutely.
Pleasure.
You have a good afternoon.
So,
Likewise. Thank
so
you.
what smart home products have been the most popular?
So, definitely say the video doorbell, and I did talk about that.
How long? I'm just hearing about that now. I mean, I guess I'm kind of late because I'm not a technology
It's
person.
probably been out for about 3 or 4 years,
Okay.
but it's really gotten popular the last couple of years. The
Right.
price has come down on them, and they're just a cool device. And once you tie that in with a door lock, then you can actually remotely, like I said, if the kids are coming home and they forgot their key, you can unlock the front door. Or if it's your mother-in-law, you can lock the front door remotely.
You lost the
Whichever
code.
one.
Sorry.
Yeah.
If you have the doorbell,
You're probably going to go and get a hotel because we won't be back.
because, like, if you have the doorbell, what can you do if you wanted to expand on? How do you start? Where do you start? Do you start with the doorbell? Do you start with the camera? Where do you start working towards a smart home? Where's
So-
the first place to start?
Yeah, there's a couple of trains of thoughts on this, and I'll give you 2 examples. So there's a lot of cool stuff out on the market. So talk about the video doorbell. If anybody's heard of Nest thermostats, they're a cool product where you can, from your phone, you can control that. You got cameras, you got security. Well, guess what? You now have 5 apps on your phone for all those devices. Universally, we found when we did market research that people hated having 5 or 6 different apps to control
To
their
go to,
system.
right.
So with our system, Claire,
Clear
we have a
control.
brain unit that talks to everything in the house, and that's where it starts. It brings all those devices under one control, so you can see everything and you
All
can
under one
integrate
app.
those all under one app. So in a glance, I can open the app up, I can look and I can see that my front door is locked, I can see my garage door is closed, I can see the security system armed or disarmed, I can see what lights are on, I can look at my cameras. It's very simple and easy to use. So that's where it starts.
Wow.
Jason, this sounds expensive.
Yeah, that
I
was
mean, the
my
more
thing,
you
was the
talk
cost.
about it, I can see, I have dollar signs for pupils right now. If you don't mind, share with us the costs of this type of system.
So a base system.
Is it for a celebrity or for the average
It is
person?
for the average person, absolutely for the average
Okay.
person. I'll just give you a rough idea. Let's say you want to do a basic system with one of our controllers. You want to add a door lock, a video doorbell, a light switch, so you had some lighting control. That whole thing would be about $1,000.
Do the person pay monthly or they just pay that full amount
There's-
up front and that's it?
That's it. There's no charge for that.
It's not a monthly
For
fee to
full
maintain
security
it?
system?
Now, if you want to have a security system where the police are called, you want to have a monitored security system, there is a cost for that.
Oh, okay.
Well,
But
that's
if
worth
there's
it to
otherwise, there's no fee for our system. That's a big deal for us.
But on that note, that's with anything. If you're going to have, a police response or first responder,
Yeah,
you have to pay a
that
permit
makes
anyway.
sense.
So that's not anything new.
Yeah.
That's just what goes along with the territory.
But
So.
I think on that note, we've got to go to break. We'll be right back.
Are listening to The Bridge.
Falling asleep.
so muffled. Am I the only one? Is it just me?
What sounds muffled?
Everything sounds muffled. Is it just me?
Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
It's because you're waiting for that speaker.
No. I mean, even when people are talking, it just
I know
it's a
that's
little
still
muffled.
because you're
So.
in front of the speaker. It just distorts the sound a little.
Let me pull up. When we come back to break, we need to announce the doorbell cameras.
Okay.
Let people know, invite them in.
You're gonna read Sam Houston Race Park.
Yes.
You know, you're gonna read two because they have two different shows, one Friday and one Saturday.
Well, for this first come back, I can read one.
Yeah, and then read
And
That's
then
what I
we'll
mean.
read the other one.
That's
Yes.
what I mean, So you want to talk about the doorbell giveaway? I mean,
I can.
what we're gonna do is we just let him know who wins. Are we gonna do a Facebook winner as well?
However you want to do it, you could just leave the name and address.
Okay, you just need the name, address, and we'll send it out.
Yeah. So we'll pick someone on the live feed and then. Oh, wait, Evelyn, I'm gonna read. I'm gonna do a live commercial read when we come back. So just cue.
That's not cool, is it?
The spring concert series is back at Sam Houston Race Park. Come for the fun this Friday with the Kenny Wayne Shepherd Band taking the Bud Light stage, presented by Whitmeyer's. Tickets start at just $10. Friday is also 50-cent beer night. Then Saturday, don't miss Pat Green live in concert, presented by Shoppas. Both concerts begin immediately after live racing. Catch all the fun for the entire family in between races. For more information, go to shrp.com. Sam Houston Race Park. Come for the fun.
Welcome back. You're listening to All About You with OMG and Friends, where we talk about the things that you think about. I am your host, OMG, along with my co-host,
Silky Smooth.
And Daydream.
and our guest in the studio.
Jason.
Jason, as I mentioned earlier, is the regional sales manager for Claire Controls, which is a company that, in fact, does provide smart, secure, and simple home solutions. So we were talking to Jason about some of the products that his company sells, and as well as installs. So,
And one of those great items and that we were talking about right before the break was the doorbell camera. And Jason was very kind and generous enough to provide us with 2 free doorbell cameras. And we're going to give those away to our listeners. So whether you call into the studio or you interact with us live on our Facebook feed, we will randomly pick someone so that way you can enjoy your own doorbell camera.
So check in, call us, and check in on Facebook. So you can get
Absolutely,
that
absolutely, 'cause
doorbell.
Right, and the number for the studio is 713-789-0096. Again, give us a call here at the studio. Get your chance to win one of the 2 free doorbell cameras. And of course, thank you for everyone who's following along with us on our live Facebook feed and those who are following with us on Twitter.
Yes, Fly has just checked in.
Oh, has she? Okay.
Yes.
Hey, Fly.
How are you? Thank you for doing
Yes,
that.
she's checking in.
So, Jason, okay, did you test before you set your home up to be safer for your wife because you do travel? Did you engage her, or is this something that you knew as an audio video focused smart home installer and person to know all about this? Was it something that she wanted, or you just knew across the board? These are the basic fundamental things that you need: the doorbell, the camera, and the lights. Because the average woman would probably go there first. The doorbell,
Right.
the camera, and then being able to control your lights.
It's kind of a funny story. I've been in the industry for so long. I've got a ton of AV stuff. I just got a big theater system that we never actually use anymore.
But it sounds good, right?
Yeah. and all this stuff that it's always, it's complicated. And after I put everything in, and the first time that she was using the doorbell camera, she's like, "This is the coolest thing in the world."
I guess it
And I'm
would
like,
be.
this is like, $200, and I got like this great. She's like, "I don't care about any of that. This is the
This
coolest
is
thing."
work. Yeah, I can see that being a big deal
Yeah.
because, I live alone, so I really don't like going to the door. And so if you have an opportunity, and I don't have a peephole in my door, believe it or not. So, yeah,
Right.
basically to have that, that would allow me the opportunity to decide if I want to let someone in or engage in the door or just leave my package at the front door and let me go on.
Right.
You know, so I don't know that I want to
Yeah,
engage always.
I like that idea of the doorbell too.
Yeah, I think that's good to have. But
I would just never answer.
I know.
Y'all know my
Cell phone.
antisocial, so I looked to be like, they're not getting.
I do have a question about the technology. You know how with the cell phones they have planned obsolescence, and when the new phone comes out, the fresh one is already on the table of design. And I'm wondering, are we going to get caught up in that with the smart home? How does that technology advance? I mean, if I get it installed today, is it going to be obsolete next week?
Well, I mean, the technology,
quickly.
unfortunately,
Yeah,
pretty
right.
much everything is obsolete the moment you get it. One thing that we do that is different is all of our product, when we release updates, like Amazon Alexa, last year we didn't control. This year we do integrate with Amazon Alexa.
Okay.
When we released it, we pushed an update to the thousands of homes that use our product automatically, and everyone just got an update that says you now work with Amazon Alexa. So we are cloud-based storage for that. So as we release new updates, Google's going to be, obviously, is the next big thing. Amazon Alexa's leading, but Google's going to take over Watch.
You think?
Absolutely, I think they're going to take over.
So they don't have, will the person have to pay again, or they just get
We release
automatic
them
updates?
free of charge. Free of charge.
Jeez,
And
even
we
that
also-
was,
Because it's the software. It's the software, right? It's not necessarily the hardware that you're having to update. It's
Exactly. That's
Okay.
exactly it. We're updating the software, we're putting in the man hours behind it so it works, and then we push those updates free of charge to all of our customers. If you want to use a feature, you can. If not, you don't have to worry about
Well,
it.
that sounds like worthwhile at that point.
okay. I like being able to disable things. I don't like this full control. Okay, if I can disable certain features, okay. Well then,
Yeah.
all right.
But see, it's, you talked about adding it, you can start small and add a
That's
couple of
what I'm saying,
devices.
if it's expandable.
And we can expand our system to control your entire house, 20 cameras, 20 rooms of audio, all your TVs, or you can just control a light switch and your video doorbell if you want. So we give you a lot of flexibility.
So you can go like full on Tony Montana or just.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. I think it's
Well, because when
exciting.
he said 20 cameras, that's the first thing I thought of. It was that scene where at his home where there's one wall of security cams.
We have to watch everything
Yeah, it's
that's
watching
going on
every
in the
single
room.
angle. So
But that's
it's
what
like,
we're
you
going to
go that far.
and sitting in a room and just watching our houses, and watching to make sure everything's okay. So, does this make, having a safe home or a smart home, does this deter crooks in any way?
Yeah. I mean, really, it is a thing about having the additional steps to eliminate where someone even tries to break into the home. So anything you can deter that is absolutely important. When someone sees a camera, that's a deterrent. And like you mentioned earlier, with like our video doorbell, if someone's walking up, even if they don't ring it, you still get a notification saying there's motion at that door, and you yell through the camera, "Hey, get out of here! Drop it back!" That can deter that.
Right.
But at the same time, if someone does break into a home, you're notified, the police are notified.
And they're on
I mean, there's
camera at
additional
that point,
steps.
aren't they?
Yep, absolutely.
Maybe there's some
Absolutely.
dumb criminals out there, but some of them will try.
Well, and actually, this just on Facebook this morning, I think it happened last night, home invasion, broad daylight. But everything was caught on cameras. The house was secured with cams, and so they caught all kinds of angles of their faces and other identifying marks. So,
You think they just let being a thief go? Well, because you got all.
well,
of
think
this-
about it. It was in the middle of the day.
Well, I think most.
So
of
they
them-
were home. Little kids were home, and you can clearly see that the little kids were there. So something like that. I mean, it's crazy that we actually need to be worried about things like that in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
It's usually okay. It's nighttime. It's a shady area. It's this. It's that. And now it doesn't matter.
Well, I think in most neighborhoods it happened during the daytime. The community that I live in, they kicked down the door in one of the homes, 11 o'clock in the morning. So these crooks are serious.
they're
I mean,
rather
right.
bold.
Yeah, and
They've been watching the
I
entire
don't think my
time.
neighbor had any sort of. Well, we live in an older neighborhood. Speaking of an older neighborhood, how would you?
Yeah, older homes.
Yeah, how would you get that up to speed?
So the nice thing is even 5 years ago, it was running a lot of wire for all these different things. Nowadays, everything lives on your Wi-Fi network. I bought a Samsung fridge not too long ago. It asked for my Wi-Fi password. I have no idea. I don't know if my fridge is going to pop up and like on my Facebook and say, likes this picture.
Really?
We need grapes.
Yeah, exactly. But it seems like everything. So our system is no different than the fact that it communicates wirelessly with all these devices. There is a limited amount of wire that goes in, but for the most part, when we put in a security system, it's all wireless. All the little sensors and contacts are done wirelessly. The video doorbell we talk to wirelessly. The
Okay.
locks we talk to, the lighting. our system is designed to be retroed into a house fairly easily. So if you're adding it to an existing
Okay.
house or a new house, it's very easy to do.
So the system, does it ever lock up or lock or anything like that? Or just kind of, because sometimes with technology, your computer
Well, there's
just
glitches.
spins and
There's
glitches,
glitches,
those
yeah.
kinds of things, spins and that sort of
Absolutely, you can have things that pop up, and it's very rare for us to happen. But when it does, here's a great thing about us, and we're one of the few companies that do this, is when you buy one of our systems, you get lifetime free tech support for as long as
Yeah,
that system's in.
That's
And
important.
it's Claire Controls employees based in Sarasota, Florida, so it's our staff, our team, and you can call them and they can fix 90%
So if
of
I
issues.
call, I'm not going to get a call from someone with an accent from halfway around the world.
Now, you're getting someone in Sarasota,
Okay.
Florida that works for us that can fix that system without ever sending a truck out. So,
And that's important because you have things in your home that you're not able to repair without someone being able to help you walk through it or troubleshoot it. So that's important because I'm not technologically savvy, so I would have to call in and they would get to know me fairly well.
Yeah, they would get to know you pretty well.
Yeah, because they have my friends to tell you that I'm not that person.
I'll tell you one of the coolest things with our system, and we do work with Alexa. Do you guys have Alexa? Do either one of you have used it?
I have one,
So yeah,
but I haven't done. I bought her just for music, and like I said, there are times when she'll
She's
just
all up in your business now.
all of it is talking, and I can come home. And this is, I leave a Christian station on, radio station on when I leave, and sometimes during the day, I don't know what commercial has played, but either the name Alexa has been mentioned, and so my radio will be on, and then so will Alexa be on. So when I walk into my house, it's like chaos. I've got Alexa
Lord.
going and the music going. So now I've just kind of taken and turned her off so that she won't hear her name and just go into a whole nother thing.
Right, she's not taking over. She remember that movie?
I know,
where,
right?
You turn the power off and the power
She can
turns
just
itself
come
back
back on,
on.
yeah,
I'm just getting the creeping everybody out.
But it's it's kind of cool that you can say, Alexa, start good night. And when I say
I know you
that,
told me that, yeah.
yeah, she locks the front door, arms the security system, shuts off preset lights that I want to have done. And in the morning I can say, Alexa, start good morning, and she turns these lights on. You can put in pre-programmed commands and have it do 10 different steps.
I tell you, that's why I read. You make your coffee, turn your lights, open your drapes. Everything is you just get up.
Well, my wife has not been used. She's not liked Alexa because she'll pipe up with something. She's like, "Shut up, Alexa."
I
That's
said, a whole conversation going on her own.
But the other day, I heard her. I was in the office, and she goes, "Alexa, turn the kitchen lights off." And she did, and she goes, "Thank you." And Alexa goes, "You're welcome." And I popped my head out. I'm like, "I'm glad to see you guys getting along."
That's like having another woman in the house.
So how does a person get one of these systems, Jason, if they're interested?
So right on our website, clairecontrols.com, you can put in some info and we'll reach out to you and get you in touch with, we have a dealer base across the U.S. that installs our product. So it does have to be done by a professional installer, but it's very simple and easy to do. And like I said, you could start with a basic system or grow it into a really cool, full house control.
So we're going to put all of that information on our website, right?
Yes, we'll put it on our
Facebook.
website, and we'll also put it on Facebook.
Now, how easy is some of this stuff to install on your own? I read something about DIY, do it yourself. So how many of us can actually
Do it yourself.
do it yourself, right?
So that's the cool thing about our product is there is, of course, some stuff that needs to be freshly put in, but there's a number of product, like if you're comfortable putting in a light switch, you can put in your own controllable light switch and we can control it. You can add Sonos or Hios audio to it. You can do that yourself without any need for someone to come out and do it for you. Things like door locks, like the video doorbell camera, a lot of that stuff is very
That's
easy
very
to
simple
install.
to put in?
Yep.
Okay. You
Yep.
have to have some background in that. I don't know that I would, but at any rate, the technology is such that it is, for what you have now, how long of a life frame can you get out of this? Maybe a year or two? And then you just
Just a
update
moment.
periodically? How many updates do you have?
Really, I mean, once you have a system in with our system, it should be in for years.
Okay.
I mean, we have systems out that are 5 or 6, 7 years old that are still, the same
Still
system still
functioning.
up and running and no issues. So we always plan on pushing updates to our systems out there. So
Okay. Well, Jason, invite our caller on. I think we have another caller since you were answering the question.
hello, caller. Sound like you. Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, this is Adapa. I'm from
I can't.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Hello, Adana from Memphis. Welcome in.
Thank you. I was calling because I'm really concerned with all these electronics, being able to, turn your lights off and on and electricity off and on while you're not at home and these robots leaving stuff in your car. I'm just concerned about how far this is going, and how are we as Americans, how can we put a halt to it? I know technology is a good thing, but I think there's sometimes too much technology, and I just think that it's become very invasive, and I'm afraid of what's going to happen, in the next 10 years. Because, if they can do all that stuff now, what are they going to be able to do in the next 10 years? I'm really concerned about that. Could you please address that?
Well, I don't know if I have to give, that's a lot, it's a good question. I don't know if I have the expertise to really address, where it's all going, but I can tell you that you have the choice to pick and choose what you want to adopt to and what you don't want to adopt to. And, finding value in these things and finding use of these things are every individual's choice. So, as you look at new technology coming out, pick the things that you see really enriching your life and making things better. And if you have a concern about something, just elect not to do it. Don't head in that direction. A lot of these steps, everyone. Exactly. A lot of these things really are to help you feel a little more safe and secure, and make sure your family is at the same time safe and secure. But if you don't think Alexa, you don't want her listening in, don't buy Alexa. Just elect to stay away from that particular piece of technology. From Alexa, how about that? But I will.
Oh, that's a whole nother issue.
But I will tell you,
you all maybe need to address, because I am not a fan of Alexa. It seems like she knows where you're going, how you're doing, and I'm just really concerned. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Colin.
Daphne, you do know that the world goes forward, whether we like it or not. Things are going to happen, and I assume that we're getting more towards the Jetsons. We're going to get into flying cars and self-driven cars and all these other things. So this is all apropos for where we are right now.
But aren't you afraid of all of that?
Well, you can't live your life in fear. You either have to enjoy your life and
you still have to keep up.
Yeah.
When you're on the freeway, that slowest car isn't the safest one. They're causing issues and they're going to get hurt. So you say it's same thing with technology. Whether you want it or whether you like it, it's coming. So you either learn to adapt and go with the flow, or you're going to get left behind.
Or you'll have to go in and manually turn off all your lights while the rest of us will be going to our cell phones and pushing a button and turning them off.
And get ready for bed in 5 seconds as opposed to 15 minutes later.
Then what's required for all of this would be a device. Caller, thank you. We appreciate that call. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
You would have to have Wi-Fi. You'd have to have Wi-Fi and a cell phone. Isn't that kind of costly for someone? Everybody doesn't have it. For instance, I guess I think somewhat of a disabled person and how Alexa and how a smart home could help someone that's handicapped.
Right.
I can see that being a big push.
Yes, maybe like a medical emergency. Now that's what I've been thinking of in a situation. If a person couldn't talk or say anything, let's say they were having a stroke and they couldn't say anything, how could they get the house to help them? Is that possible?
It is absolutely possible. On our side, we don't dive in too much into that, but there is definitely some steps you could put into place. So from your phone, you could actually, if you couldn't talk, you could hit a button and do like a fire or medical emergency.
We do have older people or even disabled people. They need something.
And there's absolutely, something you could build into it. And our system does currently do that, where you could hit, I need to do a fire emergency, and it'll automatically send a note to the monitoring station, and they'll call the fire department and send them out. And along Alexa, you could say Alexa. Actually, I don't want to say that because if anybody's got the radio playing, then
Alexa will.
Oh no!
Yeah, I was gonna say Alexa.
It's chaos. We're causing chaos.
Yeah. But you could notify her of emergency, and there's some steps she can do as well too.
Does she hear if she's not on? Because I tell you, I don't know where because when I turn it on, all these lights will
You don't know, OMG, and she's at your house.
She's living at my house.
She lives with you.
We have another.
My understanding is Alexa and Google, all those are on all the time listening for those keywords.
Are you kidding me? The keywords that we all know not to say on the phone?
No, they're listening for her, to say Alexa.
Anything
They're
close to
listening
their
all the
name.
time.
Yeah. So.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, we have a call
Hi,
on the line.
this is Stacy. I live in the museum district.
Uh-huh. Hi, Stacey.
So, hi. So I'm relatively young, and I'm all for home automation. I mean, I love it.
Cool.
But I just purchased an older home, and how easy or difficult is it to automate older homes? The ones that aren't just built with automation, in them.
So I'll tell you, we kind of talked about this a little bit ago, but honestly, depending on what you're looking to do, we could probably do 90% of the technology we offer in that home with no problem. As long as you have a good Wi-Fi, we can add a full security system, cameras, surveillance. We can add a lot of stuff with very minimal need to, get into any walls or run any additional wiring. So we are designed to go into, new construction, old construction. But like we said earlier, everything lives on your Wi-Fi network. So as long as you got a good Wi-Fi, you can talk to most of the devices and control them.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a lot of control there.
Wow, thank you,
Well,
Stacey.
thank you so much.
We appreciate the
for
call.
checking in.
One question I did have, or because it is inevitable, whether we're buying a new home, it's gonna be a smart home at some point or another, okay? Or whether we're looking to just, go with the flow and have a little extra security in our older communities. What can people do to not get scammed? Because not everyone, like you said, not everyone is authorized to,
To do what?
to hook up these systems and, have that security the way that they should. So what can we do to not be that person?
Like anything, the first step is just to educate yourself on what's out there. Make sure you're dealing with reputable companies. There is something that we'll bring up that, we kind of pride ourselves on is there's a lot of security and home automation companies out there. They're all great companies, but just make sure you read on what they're offering. There's companies that offer smart home and security for a monthly fee. And so you buy that system, you put it in, you pay monthly, works great. But guess what happens at the end of your contract when you stop paying that fee? All that smart home devices stop actually working. Your app stops working, your security system stops working, you don't have access to your cameras. We don't operate that way. So when a system is in, you own that system for life. There's no monthly fee. If you do monitoring and you want the police call if there's an incident, great. But if you don't do monitoring, the system still functions. That's a big thing I would say is that most people don't understand is as they add this technology, there's a lot of companies trying to tack fees on with it. Just make sure you look into that. That's a big one to protect
So that's
yourself.
what separates you probably from the other guys, is that monthly.
Yep. That,
having that monthly.
And the service.
Yeah,
that you get.
that fee
The
can, I've
service.
seen people paying $60, $70, $80 a month for security plus smart home. And really, if you can get away from that, and if you want to do security, great again. And if you don't, you should still have a fully functioning smart home with cameras, surveillance.
Right.
We even allow you to self-monitor, which means when your system's in, you don't have to pay a monthly fee, but if someone breaks in a door, you get notified, hey, there's been a break-in at your house, and that's no cost. We do that free of charge for all of our customers.
Most people don't do that, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Right.
I want
Well,
to
they
give a
charge
shout
See,
out.
and that's my concern is just, there's always, I can install, your security system for you, this, and that, and it's actually someone who's just a voyeur.
Right.
They're installing a system for you, for
Right.
your safety security, and really it's just that way they
So
can,
they can
They double
watch.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'll tell you what, Texas is great about the fact that they require a security license. So to do any security, even to run security wire in the state of Texas, you have to be licensed. Ask for the license.
Did not know that.
Ask for their security
Okay.
license.
Good to know. Other than just asking for basic ID and that type of thing, let me call the company and that type of stuff. I didn't realize that you actually had to be licensed. So,
Yep, absolutely.
I'm sure that,
A couple people just checked in. I wanted to acknowledge Susan, Erin, and Michelle. Thank you so much for checking in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching All About You show.
Susan is our wellness warrior.
Our
Yeah,
wellness
she couldn't
warrior.
be today, yeah. So, but how is the value that having all this automation brings to a home? Does it help you in marketability if you were to sell your home? How does that work?
Yeah, actually, one thing that's very cool that we do is if you have a Claire system in your home and you love it, it's great, you're selling your home, you can leave it in the house and you can tell the new owners, all they have to do is contact Claire and we will actually transfer the system to the new owner free of charge. And remember that lifetime support I talked about?
They still get that?
They still get that lifetime tech support on
Well,
that
that's
system.
awesome.
So what about the person that's leaving? What about if they want to? Oh, that's if they leave Claire.
Yeah, if they
No.
want to take, really, I mean, the
They
system
take it
is
with them.
expensive enough that you could just leave it there and then buy a new system
That's
for the
too
new
much to
house.
try to take with you.
You know,
Just
yeah,
simple.
usually people, but it helps you sell the home.
I was going to say it should be add more value.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you already have the hardware there,
You
hey,
don't want to do all
real
that.
simple.
And then nowadays, I think pretty much once you start to incorporate these things in, now it's going to be you got to have it. You know,
So the house may already, the going may have it there already.
already.
Well, what we've seen is a lot of, across the US, a lot of home builders have started to do it as a standard option. We have a number of builders here in the city that when you move in, there's a Claire system already installed. And you can expand it, you can do it, you know, whatever you want to expand it to or do what you want with it. But what's great about it is it adds value because you're moving into a smart home already.
Wow, well, I guess that makes a lot of sense, especially if you want to deal with convenience and security and accessibility, efficiency, and all those things that makes it convenient for you to live in your home while you have it, as well as sell your home if you need to, and sell that with an added value because
Right.
of it being a smart home. But I assume that this is probably going to get progressively engaging, that it's not going to get any less, it's going to get more, I think more expandable means will be added to the network so that you can do and see more things, like you said, the appliances. I don't get the refrigerator thing, you know, and I'm not sure how that's going to work. You know, is that tied into you can see that on your phone as well if you can, why do you need to know what's in your refrigerator? I mean, why does that need to be on
At
the
the
door?
grocery store, I don't have time for lists and everything else. Let me just open and see what's in there. Yeah, okay, do I have it right? No.
Is that
I'm moving
really
on with my life.
plausible? Do you really need that? I mean, it's
Yeah.
nice.
My time is precious.
Yes, Daydream's time is precious.
All right.
You know, so guys, listen, Claire, look up,
Yeah.
go to www. You want to give us the information for your company?
www.clairecontrols.com. There's a
How do you spell
ton of
that, Claire?
information. CLARE, clairecontrols.com.
ClearControls.com.
And you'll see a tab at the top that says homeowner that actually tells you a ton about what we do.
Okay.
And also I did mention is we work with about 2,000 different devices. So even things
And
that
this
you
is for
don't
homes,
make-
not for
Thousand.
apartments, right?
For homes, actually we do apartments, we do a lot of different,
Oh,
residential
urban,
Would you
You're
put
gonna have
something
to.
like that in apartments? Because when you leave an apartment, you gotta go
we did a huge community in Arizona, a huge apartment, every single unit comes with a Claire control
Oh,
system.
Oh, so the builder would have had to
That's
do
what
that,
I'm
an
saying, the builder would have to,
individual
right.
renter can't do
Right.
it.
But I guess the builders are all gonna gravitate that way
Yes.
since that's where we're headed.
Okay.
You know?
Oh, I
So
just,
with that, I think that we will have Jason's information on our website, also on Facebook, and anything else we want?
I think I'm good. I think Silky has some parting words.
yes, a few parting words about gratitude. Gratitude joins us to all life. I feel this communion, this strange attainment, most readily with large white panes, a little less with sugar, maples, beeches, or oaks. Clearly white pines and I are on the same wavelength. What I give back to the trees, I cannot imagine. I hope they receive something because these trees are among my closest friends.
And there we are.
And there we are.
We appreciate your time. We'd like to thank Jason Coleman for joining us from
Thank you.
Claire Controls. We will have his information on our Facebook as well as our website. So please consider making your home smarter. Like I said, it is a smart move.
Right, and we'll be announcing the winners of those doorbell cameras via Facebook. So be on the lookout for those.
Great. Thank you very much.